Dear friends, in this video we are going to learn about polygenic inheritance or quantitative inheritance. Here we are going to talk about the quantity or numbers. To understand this concept, I am going to teach you a very good example of skin color in human beings. This was first explained by Davenport. In humans, the skin color is controlled by three dominant genes. The genes are written as capital A, capital B and capital C. Here, the number of dominant genes would decide how much of melanin would produce. If all genes are the dominant form, maybe 6 dominant, maximum melanin would be synthesized or take place, and the color of the skin is going to be darkest or black in color. There can be an intermediate situation also. Here all the genes are heterozygous form, which means 3 dominant genes and 3 recessive genes. Here the melanin production is intermediate or medium. Therefore, the skin color is going to be intermediate color, or we simply say brown in color. And in the third case, all the genes are in the recessive form. There is no dominant gene. There is no gene is responsible for melanin production. So, such individuals are known as albino or colorless or whitish in color. 6 dominant, 3 dominant and 0 dominance. In between the 6 dominants to 3 dominants, there are 5 dominant and 4 dominant. And here also 2 dominant and 1 dominant. So each dominance produces its own color. Am I right? Do you understand what I am saying? Right. Let me teach you how this will happen. Right? Here we have 2 extremes. In one hand, all genes are dominant. In other hand, all genes are recessive. So in between we say it is an intermediate color. Not only that, the dominance and the recessive, but also we see the ranges from dominant to intermediate and intermediate to recessive. Let me show you how the genes are distributed. Let us see one by one. Before that, so let us create a key to understand this concept very clearly. Right? Here you see there are 6 dominant genes. The color would be black. If it is 0 dominant, the color would be white or albino. If it is 3 dominant, in the intermediate position, the skin color is intermediate. Here we have remaining ranges: 2 dominant, 1 dominant, and here 5 dominant and 4 dominants. Okay, let us come to a minimum numbers. 2 dominant is going to be fair, then the 1 dominant is very fair in color, and the last one is albino. This is the key which is going to help us to find out the ratio of various colors in human beings. So this is a polygenic type of inheritance. We are going to count the numbers, right? So now we are going to learn about a particular skin type by using counting numbers. Do you understand what I am saying? So we start with the Punnett square method, or we start with the pure line method. So which is very helpful to understand this concept. If it is all genes are dominants, say for example capital A, capital B, capital C, the gamete produces more melanin so that the color would be black in color. If you cross the parents like capital A, capital B, capital C, crossed with small a, small b, small c, the gamete produced by the individual would be intermediate color. Now the dominant gametes fused with the recessive, we have got heterogeneous. Means all 64 offsprings are intermediate skin color. Reason: 3 dominants and 3 recessive genes are present. Now, to find the ratio in F2 generation, we have to self these individuals. So we have to cross the F1 generation to get the F2 generations, to get the another 64 offsprings. So in the F2 generation, if we crossed with capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C and small c, crossed with capital A, small a, capital B, small b, capital C, small c. Okay, let us see the various combinations of the alleles. Let us write the three dominants first. Three dominants, capital A, capital B, capital C. Then two dominants, capital A, capital B, small c. Then capital A, capital C, small b. And then capital B, capital C, small a. Then let us move on to one dominant. Capital A, small b, small c. Capital B, small a, small c. Capital C, small a, small b. And then last one, recessive, small a, small p, small c. So these are the 8 possible combination we have got it. So here we have to write 64 offsprings. As per orthodox method or Mendelian method, if we write the 64 squares, it will take long time to fill the squares. It is also a very huge task how to cross these genes with the numbers. It is very easy. So instead of writing all the alphabets, we are going to write only the numbers. Already I said that it is a quantity matters. Instead of writing the capital letters, okay, capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, capital C, if you fill all these 64 squares, it will take long time to complete this task. So that I am going to teach a very simple method, writing or counting the numbers to fill this 64 squares, this Punnett square. Okay, let me show you how to fill this or how to cross this. But this is possible only for polygenic inheritance, right? Please try to understand. This is only possible for polygenic inheritance, right? So out of 64, there is one dominant and there is one recessive, right? Then let us count how many 5s are there, then how many 4s are there, then how many 3s, then how many 2s, and how many 1s are no dominants. So this will going to explain the various skin color combination in human beings. My dear friends, try to understand. It is very easy if you plot these numbers in this Punnett square. Okay? But be sure when you write this Punnett square, you have to be very careful to fill the numbers. If you made a mistake, then the total Punnett square will be confused, then we could not get the proper answer, right? So before writing or before fill this squares, we must be very careful to fill these columns. The graph is going to be, now if we plot the graph is going to be something like this. The extreme numbers is shown, okay, one is minimum and another one is maximum. In one hand minimum, in another hand maximum. And then the intermediate also, right? So the distribution is like that. So the maximum number is 20, followed by 15, 15, and then followed by, it goes lowest numbers. So this is known as a bell-shaped graph. So this is what 8 color in human beings. So this was given by Davenport. Thank you for watching my presentation.